Assalamu alaikum, hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today's tutorial is all about how to make this Zara inspired top. I spotted this top in Zara recently, but instead of buying it, I thought why not create it myself. And of course, I had to share the process with you all. So I like how versatile this top is. It can be paired with a slip skirt or a jean or palazzo, depending on your style and preference. So starting with the tutorial, I used 3 yards of fabric and I'm using crepe fabric. The first thing I'm going to do is to fold my fabric into two. And to do that, I'm going to assume that's like my 60 inches length fabric and then the full length, which is my 3 yards or my 3 meter fabrics. So I'm going to be folding for my full length parts and I'm going to fold into two first and then fold into four. So that's basically what I did to my fabric. So I folded it into four and I have 60 inches length and the other part is having about 30 inches. The next thing I'm going to do is to mark my gown length, which is 55 plus 1 inch. Another thing we need to note is that sometimes you might reduce your gown length by 1 to 2 inches, but I want mine to be long, so I decide to use my normal gown length and then add 1 inch for M allowance. So I'll just go ahead and cut that out. So I have my fabric in 4 folds. So for my neckline, I'm going to be using basic neckline of 3 inches by 3 inches. So after taking my neckline, I'm just confirming the length I have there, which is about 30 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do is to take my shoulder slope and then I'm going to come down from that point by 2 inches. And I'm going to connect it to the starting point of my neckline. And I'll go ahead and form like a diagonal line to form my shoulder slant. So I'm just connecting those points. And for the sleeve, I'll be using 10 inches because I want it to be wide. So I'll just mark 10 inches there. And I'm marking for my 2 inches point. So from there, I'll go in by 5 inches. You can decide to go in more if you don't want yours to be as wide as mine. So I'll just mark 5 inches there. And then I'm going to connect all the points. So for the main part of the top, I'm going to come down by 20 inches, which is my waist length plus 5 inches. So whatever it is your waist length is, just add 5 inches to it. And then I'm going to mark that to the other edge of the fabric. So I'm marking 20 inches. So I'm just connecting all the points. Then I'm going to mark 1 inch at that edge because I want my open part to start from there. So I'm going to mark 1 inch there and then I'm going to connect it to the 20 inches points. After connecting, we should have something like this. So I'll just go ahead and cut out the sides of my top. So after cutting the sides, the next thing is to cut the top front opening, and to do that, I'll go ahead and raise up my front piece just one piece of it in order to cut that out. Then I realized that the shulking of my fabric is not really obvious, so I decided to explain on the pattern paper. So I took the neckline, the shoulder slants, the sleeves, and then from there I took the sides of the abaya. After which I marked the 20 inches points. So that's basically what I did. I'm just cutting out on the pattern paper. I hope it's not too confusing. And then to cut out that part, I'll go ahead and raise that part up and then I'm going to cut it out. So at the end of the cutting process, we should have something like this. So that's basically what I'm going to do to the main fabric. I'll just go ahead and cut that out. Make sure you raise your fabric up and then cut only one piece of it. So after cutting out, we should have something like this for just one part of the top. The next thing I'm going to do is to cut the shoulder slant and then cut the neckline. So that's all for cutting. Then to sew, I'm going to open up the fabric. I'll go ahead and sew the shoulder slope and then I'll join the sides, the longer side and also the shorter sides. So I'm just joining the sides. And then this is for the shorter sides. So when I get to the edge of the shorter side, I'm just going to backstitch and then that's all for the shorter sides. After joining the side, we should have something like this. This is for the shorter sides. And then the longer side is just joined normally. So the next thing I'm going to do is just to go ahead and hem all the sides. And if you have an overlocker, you can decide to also overlock all the sides. So you go ahead and hem all the open edges and then hem the neckline and also the sleeves. Also try to notch the sides of your top so it can lay flat well after ironing. So that's just what I'm going to do to both sides. I'll just notch both sides. And there you have it, your very own Zara inspired top. I hope you enjoyed following along with this tutorial and feel excited to work your creation. So if you give this a trial, don't forget to share your version with me. I'd love to see your work. Also, let me know in the comments if you find this step clear or if there is anything you'd like me to explain further in future tutorials. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe if you haven't already. And for more videos like this, you can check out my playlists at the top of the screen. And thank you so much for watching to the end and sewing along with me today. I can't wait to see you in the next video, inshallah. Until then, assalamu alaikum. Bye for now.